Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Terence Crawford smashed everybody that Floyd ever fought. Yep. Manfredi, done. Fried. Crawford would have beat him, dominated him, knocked him the hell out. Crawford hit harder than Floyd. Crawford hits harder than Floyd. You understand that? Killer instinct is on 10. Oh, man, come on, man. Crawford can do everything Floyd can do, and he can do it from both sides.
Tim Bradley was a unified world champion, firmly planted at the top of the division and dominating everyone who stepped into his training camp. When his manager flew in an unknown 23-year-old from Nebraska for sparring, Bradley expected nothing more than light work. He couldn't have been more wrong. Just minutes in, the unknown fighter landed a flawless counter right hook and dropped him. This wasn't a fluke. It was the chilling moment Bradley realized he was facing a boxing prodigy who processed combat like a supercomputer. The most frightening part was that almost no one in the world knew his name yet.
I won't fight, bro.
Timmy, when you brought Terence to your camp 2 years back,
Yeah.
and you told him you're gonna be a future champ,
Yep.
you knew it, right?
Yep.
What do you have? What kind of skill did he have?
Everything. Mentally tough, physically strong, boxing ability, high IQ for sport, student of the game, confident, everything.
Why wouldn't she fight me?
He's a friend of mine.
Grasp how significant this moment was, you have to rewind to 2011. Tim Bradley was at the absolute peak of his career, gearing up for a high-stakes showdown with Devin Alexander. His training camp was notorious for its intensity. He was physically breaking sparring partners and running out of bodies, willing to trade punches with him, needing fresh work. His team brought in a young Terence Crawford as a last-minute option. At the time, Crawford had fewer than a dozen pro fights and had never gone past 6 rounds. The situation was brutally lopsided. Bradley had an elite coaching team studying every exchange, while Crawford stood alone, quietly shadowboxing in the corner, unaware he was about to be thrown into the cage with a monster.
Well, first of all, I think I was getting ready for Devin Alexander, and then I had him for Pacquiao too. So I had him for 2 camps, but I was getting ready for Devin Alexander, and I was tip-top shape. I was sending everybody home. I was beating up everybody in the gym, sending them home. And I was running out of sparring partners. So I told my manager, Cameron Duncan at the time.
That was 2011?
Like,
that was about 2011,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. And then so I called him up and I said, hey, I need a sparring partner, man. Like, I'm sending these guys home. Like, I need somebody that's durable, somebody strong, somebody tough. And he was just like, well, I'll send Crawford. I'll see if he can come out. So got in contact with Crawford, his camp, whatever. He flew out by himself. He came in the gym. I seen him sitting in the gym. He had these little plaits in his head. He's very dark skinned. Look kind of scrawny. He looked strong. You know what I'm saying? I already know, certain builds. I'm like, yeah, he looks strong. Very lanky, quiet, didn't talk much, man. He warmed up, got in the gym, he started working, he started sparring, and I was like, oh my God, he was lighting me up. Every mistake I made, bing, 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 he was catching, countering the shit out of me. And I was like, my gosh.
When the sparring finally started, Bradley admits he initially eased up to see what the newcomer had to offer. That decision proved costly. Crawford snapped a stiff jab into his face and followed it with a sharp counter. That immediately caught the champion's attention. Embarrassed and stung inside his own gym, Bradley's championship pride took over. He cranked the intensity up to full world title speed, applying the kind of pressure that usually breaks opponents both mentally and physically. But the kid from Nebraska didn't crack. Instead, amid the chaos, Crawford landed a perfectly timed shot that buckled Bradley's legs. Bradley now admits that in an official bout, it would have been scored a knockdown. The gym fell silent. The hired help had just dropped the boss.
Yeah. So after the sparring session, I'm like, yo, I sat there, I'm like, damn, bust a lip and all. I'm like, man, I was sending everybody home. I'm like, this dude just walked through me like nothing. I looked at him, I said, bro, you ain't no sparring partner. I said, man, what's your name? And he was like, Terence Crawford. And I'm like, man, where the hell you from? He goes, Omaha, Nebraska. I go, bruh. I'm like, you ain't no sparring partner. You a world champion. And he was like,
"Oh, you really think?" I was like, "Man, you got the goods." Look, listen to me. Every time I would try to step it up, because that's what I would do. I would go half-ass, and then, you know, if they start getting the best of me, then I'll step it up. And if they start getting, you know, then if they rise their game, then I rise mine. And I just kept rising my game. And I just kept trying to rise my game. Well, he rose his game. And I'm like, God, I was like, dang, this dude is different. Like, most guys would just crumble. Like, oh, you the champ, so I'm just gonna lay down. He didn't lay down at all. He didn't take it easy on me. And I was like, oh my God. So it went from there. So I immediately, after training, I took him back to his hotel, and better yet, he had no coach with him. Nobody went. Literally, they was giving him water, and that was it. He didn't have a coach telling him what to do. My coach sure as hell wasn't telling him what to do. And he just figured it out. And I'm just like, what the hell going on here?
What happened afterward is why Bradley now calls Crawford a master strategist. Most young and experienced fighters collapse when a hurt champion turns up the violence. Crawford did the opposite. He began collecting information. With no coach in his corner giving instructions, he made adjustments on the fly. Bradley described him as a chameleon in the ring. When Bradley pressed forward, Crawford smoothly boxed. Off the back foot, when Bradley tried to keep distance, Crawford switched from orthodox to southpaw, disrupting the rhythm completely. Using his wrestling background, Crawford pivoted out of danger and laid traps. Every time Bradley thought he had an opening, he realized moments later he'd walk straight into one of Crawford's setups. After 4 intense rounds, Bradley's trainer stopped the session to prevent the champion from taking further punishment from an unknown sparring partner.
Cameron. I'm like, yo, where does that come from?
Cameron Duncan?
Like,
Cameron Duncan?
Yeah, he goes, what, he's no good? You're going to send him home too? And I'm like, hell no. I was like, bro, when is this kid fighting? He was just like, what do you mean? I said, dude, what are you doing with him? And he was just like, well, nothing right now. He's kind of benched. He's, issues. He has issues outside of the ring, and so he's kind of benched. I'm like, bro, I was like, I'll buy him out of his contract right now. I said, how much you want for him? I'll buy him right now. And he was like, wait, hold up. I love Terence. What are you talking about? His tone changed real quick when I was telling him, like, bro, I was like, he dominated me in the sparring session. He goes, what? He goes, really? Yeah. So then, all right.
He didn't know what he had. He didn't know what he had.
He had no clue what he had, right? Yeah. Neither did Top Rank, right? So then I'm finished camp or whatever. I go through Devin Alexander. I beat him, whatever. Then I get a call, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think about Crawford and Prescott?" And I was like, "Prescott who? The dude that knocked out Khan?" Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, I was like Crawford." I said, "He'll box circles around him." I was like, "He'll box circles around him." I said, "He probably even stop him." And it was like, he goes, "Really? Really?" And this is Cameron Duncan I'm talking to. He goes, "Really? You really?" He's like, "You're sure?" I'm like, "Man, I promise you, everything, whatever it is, I promise you." And I was like, man, I was like, yo, you still want to go 50-50 on Crawford? He goes, no, I'm fine.
Bradley's biggest takeaway from that day went far beyond getting dropped. After sharing the ring for 36 grueling rounds with Manny Pacquiao, Bradley later made a controversial claim that still sparks debate. He believes that pound for pound, Terence Crawford is actually more skilled than the Pac-Man.
Yeah, the names people are throwing out there, Tim. And you've been in the ring with him 3 times, and you've been in the ring with Terence when you guys sparred. How do you see that matchup? What does Tim Bradley think about that?
I mean, it's a tough match. That's a tough match. But of course, I'm gonna go with my boy Terence. I think he, the IQ, man, that movement he showed tonight, that definitely would give Manny problems. With all that movement. But then again, when you think about it, because I've been in the ring with Manny. This dude, he ain't like Pistol. He ain't gonna sit there and, no, he ain't gonna sit there and no, Manny's gonna be, and we gonna be letting them hands fly, and so I think it'll be an interesting matchup. I would favor my boy Terence, with the size, his movement. I would favor him in the fight. I would want him to beat him. But it's like I said, man, that's a tough fight, Manny. You can never count that guy out, man. He's a beast.
Does Manny still have a lot left, Tim?
Yeah, man. Yeah. That last time out, I don't know what I said to piss him off, but that last time out, he looked good. He was sensational. He learned a lot from that fight.
While acknowledging that Pacquiao was a relentless force who overwhelmed opponents with speed, power, and aggression, Bradley argues that Crawford beats him mentally. Pacquiao was a physical storm you tried to survive. Crawford is a cerebral assassin who dismantles your weapons before you even think about using them. It's the difference between being battered by raw force and being completely solved by a superior boxing mind.
Because I think Floyd at his best. Because I think Floyd at his best was a better defensive fighter than Crawford. Crawford's a better offensive fighter, but in those kind of matchups, I think defense usually beats the offense.
I don't. Because Terence Crawford got more to bring. He got more to bring to the table.
He's a great fighter.
Mayweather got the little shoulder roll. I get it. Controls distance, but Terence Crawford is also a master at distance. Terence Crawford has punching power to hurt Floyd Mayweather. We saw that in the Judah fight now.
Yeah, Shane too. Shane hurt him with the right hand.
Shane did hurt him as well.
Yep.
And did he fight Shane? But did Floyd fight Shane in his prime? Do you think he fought him in his prime?
No.
Exactly.
And Zab wasn't quite a Shane level fighter. That's true. Listen, it'd be a great match. It'd be a great matchup, no doubt. What you said about the other fighters who are avoiding him, those fighters are with Heyman in the PBC. But when you listen, and obviously you're not in a rush to throw your guy in with Terence Crawford if you can make money other ways at 147 pounds. But
True.
Sean Porter has mentioned Terence Crawford. He's not running. It has been reported recently that Arum and Heyman were talking about a Crawford-Spence fight. Not this year, but the following year, if they remained undefeated. But then Spence got into the car accident. And we see now that with the Fury-Wilder fight happening, maybe there's a thawing and more of a willingness to do business, if it makes sense, between the promoters. And Heyman's technically an advisor, but he's a power broker. I would love to see if Spence gets back to being the same guy he is and isn't facing legal repercussions for the car accident. I would love to see Spence and Crawford. I think that's the best fight in boxing, Tim.
Yes, it is. Right now it is.